Hello, everybody. I am Marin Mikhailis, and today's topic is Lacey Green. And I am going to be reading and responding to her Twitter. Lacey says, quotes, I'm I'm low-key ashamed I let myself be bullied by ideologues for so long when I knew it was wrong. I should have stood up for myself. Been thinking about it a lot. I think a big part of why is I take responsibility of a platform seriously and I didn't want to cause harm. The rhetoric of you're a bigot is powerful, especially when you desperately want to do good. You start to doubt yourself, hate yourself. True, all the years I've done sex positive, I absolutely loathe myself. I felt I was never good enough. I always feeling to do social justice rights. It's fucking sad. I feel proud of sex positive. I wish I had the supports and guidance from my allies instead of shame, guilt, very conditional warmth. And to me, this sounds like a cult. It really does sound like a cult, especially when you listen to Sargon of Akkad talk about cults. It's kind of like when she goes into feeling shame and feeling guilt and loathing herself and feeling like she was never ever doing social justice right. And it makes me think of my own personal experience. Andy laughed. But my experiences was really different because I was never part of the feminist community. And because I never ever joined a feminist community, my experiences with the left varies from hers. Because for me, I listen to left wing media. Like left wing media, like listening to jokes from Saturday Night Live and whatnot. And the left-wing media, they tend to call the rights racist and bigots and whatnot. And um, I would let you know what my response to Lacey Green was on Twitter. I said to her, hold on. I'm glad you're standing up for yourself. I think social justice warriors use bigots the way Christians use devil worshippers. It's to keep people in line and to keep people from leaving. And I stand by that. I feel like when when you hear Republicans called racist, it does kind of keep you in line. It keeps you in line, like when the Saturday Night Live jokes that Republicans are racist. When you watch any left wing program and they're like, oh yeah, the Republicans are so racist. It does keep you in a line and it keeps you from leaving. It is the basic us versus them mindsets where Republicans are otherized as racist, sexist, misogynist, evil. And for me, to me, it was really the R word or racist, where it's kind of a lot like, oh, Republicans, racist. But living in the deep south, surrounded by Republicans, there is, cognitive dissonance because you meet a good, wonderful, kind, loving person who's a Republican. So, there you are in a state of cognitive dissonance where it's like, well, this person is Republican and they're good. So it's like, well, not all, or they're the exception. You do kind of like modify it, but it's like, well, there's still a party of the KKK. Like, this person is a good person and a Republican, but it's still the party of the KKK. It's still the party of the very, very racist, Fox News, and all the racists, vote Republican. So I could see that there's good people in the Republican Party, but there's horrible racists there too. Cognitive dissonance. But of course, I realize now that there are racists on both sides. There are still racists in the Republican Party, but there's racists in the Democratic Party. And but there's still this religious aspects of it. It's kind of like being a Christian hanging around, Satanists or devil worshippers. It just keeps you in the line and it kind of scares you from leaving. Like you do not want to leave, you don't want to leave this bubble of the Democratic Party. You really do not want to leave and be associated. You don't want that to be the way you vote because in the end, being a Republican is a very dirty, ugly word, especially if you're black. Black people tend to vote Democrat. So being a Republican is kind of dirty. It's a dirty word. It's kind of like an ugly word, especially in the black community. You don't want to be a self-hating black person, a coon, a sellout, an Uncle Tom. You don't want to be the black person who craves the white man's dick. You just don't want to be that person. You want to be with the Democrats who cares about you, who loves you, cares about your best interests. You see, there's this a bit of a religious feel to it. Being parts of the Democratic Party, it's like being parts of a religion. The Democrats, they care about you and they love you and they care about your self-interest like God and Jesus and whatnot, while, the Republicans are misguided at best. At best, they are just misguided, and they needed to be led and converted to the Democratic Party, the moral party, the pure party, because, Republicans, they are racist, sexist, misogynist, or if they're good, they're misguided and they don't know any better. They need to convert. You need to convert them, and you need to tell them the good things that the Democratic Party are doing. And it's like, I feel you. I understand where you're coming from, but you need to come over to our side. I've actually had this conversation with Nick Carroll like a year ago, like what it's like for me being in the left. It's kind of like he's been Republican all or most of his life, so he's gotten used to being called racist, sexist, misogynist, and whatnot. And being, Democrats most of my life, I've been used to the other side, being called racist, sexist, misogynist. And of course, what changed for me is being purged, where they start cannibalizing themselves. Like, if you're a Democrat, that's no longer good enough. It's no longer good enough to be a Democrat. It's kind of a lot like if you are, if you don't care about all the lives matter, like if you're like, hey, I don't think people in all lives matter are bad people. They are good people. The all lives matter people are good people with a different opinions. You're gonna get called racist. You stand up for white people, and they're like, well, you're a racist, you're a coon, you're anti-black, and it's like, what? What? I'm anti-black. That doesn't make any sense. But well, whatever. Those people could think that I'm anti-black, but when it comes to like talking to Nick Carroll and what it's like for him being a Republican for like 20 years or 40 years, I don't know how long he's been a Republican. I think he's been a Republican for 40 years. He doesn't care about being called racist. He's like, I don't care about being called racist. They've been calling the Republicans racist for years and years. It's like, I'm used to it by now. But I think that the word racist is probably not for the Republicans. They probably ignore them or have them on mutes or probably change to watch a right swing channel or, gets away from that stuff. I think racist is meant to keep the Democrats in line and to scare them from leaving. Like when you're a Democrat, it's more powerful for you than it is for a Republican who's heard it for years and just gotten used to it and doesn't care about being called racist anymore. Kind of like the experience that Blair White's is going through, where Blair White's is like, I just don't care anymore. You do reach the stage where it's like, I don't care anymore. But when you're part of the left, it's kind of like, it keeps you in line. It keeps you in a line. It keeps you disciplined. I mean, it keeps you, yeah, it's a form of discipline. It keeps you from leaving. It keeps you under their control. It's basically behavioral modification where, it's kind of like you don't want to be one of them. You don't want to be one of them. So it keeps you aligned and it scares you from leaving. When you hear like Republicans are racist, you don't want to be a Republican because it would make you racist or acting against their best interest. And it's kind of like, again, it's not so much that you believe, or at least when it comes to me, it's not so much that you believe that all Republicans are racist, but you believe that some of them are misguided or stupid. Like you're either really, really bad, you're either a KKK member, or you are stupid, you're uneducated, or you're misguided at best because it's kind of like how could you know about all the KKK members in your party and still vote for them? How could you know how could you know about Trayvon Martin and still vote Republican? And I hear this now, like I voted for Donald Trump and I voted like straight Republican this year, and, somebody on the left, said it to me like, you voted for the exact same person that David Duke did, and, the KKK did, and how could you? And and this is a powerful tactic, this us versus them tactic. It's really, really powerful because, I voted for Obama twice. I voted for Bernie Sanders in the primaries, but I voted for Donald Trump and I voted straight Republican. And when I did that, I felt fear, I felt nervousness, and I felt, a bit of shame and a bit of disgust. And I know that it's illogical. I know it's irrational. But, like when I voted for Donald Trump, I just felt a bit ashamed of myself. And I felt a bit of self hatred. And I felt like a bit of disgust. And it's like, I voted for all Republicans. And, you just feel kind of disgusted with yourself. Because, again, it's a really powerful tactic, us versus them, you know, us versus them, that is really, really, really powerful way to keep people in line. I mean, it works for the church where the atheists are devil worshippers or the atheists are misguided, and where you're a Christian, like, you're an atheist. Ooh, can't stand on those atheists. They're evil and whatnots, and oh, you should go to hell, And you kind of feel the same way as a Democrats. Democrats is a type of religion, in itself. It's kind of like, like Republican, racist, sexist, misogynist. And when somebody's wonderful, kind of sweet, oh my goodness, they're just misguided. You just don't know any better. Like you're just a simpleton and uneducated. And I know people gets offended by this. I know people gets offended by be calling stupid and uneducated. It's like, what do you mean? But it's cognitive dissonance. It means that they know that you're nice. They know that you are friendly. They know that you are kind. So you have this cognitive dissonance where you need to rationalize how is it that a nice person could vote for something so evil and toxic, and then the answer becomes, well, they just don't know any better, you know. And that has been, my, experiences as, an ex-leftist, because I was a leftist myself, and I had many of the thoughts that the social justice warriors have. And you know, the people in the social justice community, they are very insecure, like no slut shaming. And when you listen to why they hate it so much, they were called a sluts before, and it really hurt their feelings to make them feel bad. Or no fat shaming. Well, because they get bullied and picked on for being fat. It's the social justice community is a community full of insecure people. That's all it is. But right now it seems like the lines are getting blurred as more and more aunties are following Lacey Green, and more aunties are following more feminist people and having a discussion, and feminists are, following the aunties back. And you have the people who are neither feminist nor anti-feminist, but they're criticizing the anti-feminists, and they're trying to challenge the anti-feminists even though they're not feminists. So they're a bit in a no man's land, you know. But I don't know why they're focused on us. I think it's because people like Sargon is really, really popular, and Paul Joseph Watson is popular, so they're focused on the most popular group. Well, anyway, this has been Random Michaelis, and I'm sorry for any stuttering. This video is one continuous shot. I hope it makes sense anyway. If you like this video, be sure to click the like button. Be sure to leave me a comment down below. If you really, really love me, subscribe and share my videos everywhere. The more and more you share it, and the more subscribers I get, it really helps out the channel. And for the supporters I've already have, and for people who do comments regularly, thank you. Thank you for the people who do comment regularly. Bye bye.